Welcome back. Now for your 5-day weather forecast, we go outside to Justin Vasco.
With the days finally seeing consistent double-digit temperatures, it's feeling more and more like spring is in the air. Here's your 5-day weather forecast. Today we've got a bit of sun, some cloud, and a high of 9 degrees and a low of 4. Friday sees some light rain in the forecast, as well as a high of 10 and a low of 5 degrees. Plan to spend your weekend outside. You'll be seeing nothing but sun, with a high of 10 and a low of 2 on Saturday, as well as a slight warming on Sunday, where you'll see a high of 11 and a low of 3. And lastly, Monday's set to break the sunshine streak, with both clouds and showers on tap for the day. If it's any consolation, that day will see a high of 15 and a low of 7 degrees. So with a bit of sun, some rain, and some clouds in your future, you're going to have to plan those day trips accordingly. That's it for your 5-day weather forecast. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Justin. Now turning to national and international news, a Petawawa corporal has been hit with 18 sex charges in addition to the charges he already has. 31-year-old Derek Gallagher was arrested March 31st and was initially charged with 8 counts of sexual assault and 2 counts of voyeurism. He is now being charged with 8 counts of sexual assault, 9 counts of voyeurism, and 1 count of assault. Police say there could be other victims and are asking them to come forward.
A team of scientists from Georgia State University may have developed an antiviral drug that can stop the spread of measles among non-vaccinated people. The researchers tested the drug on small animals and found they could suppress a measles-like infection in ferrets. Recent measles outbreaks all across Canada have sparked heated discussions about vaccination policies. Just yesterday, Ontario toughened vaccine requirements for school-aged children. As of next fall, Ontario students will have to show proof of immunization against chickenpox, whooping cough, and meningococcal diseases. The measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine is already a requirement.
Canadians may have some commitment issues when it comes to employment. A new poll by the jobs website Workopolis shows about half of the Canadians polled have been in the same job for less than 2 years. From 1990 until 2000, only 16% of Canadians reported holding the same job for less than 2 years. The Vice President of Human Resources at Workopolis says today's workers appear more willing to job hop to find the perfect career.
The Federal Court of Appeal has ruled that Métis should qualify as status Indians under the Canadian Constitution. However, the ruling that came down this afternoon did not agree to give the same designation to non-status Indigenous people. If the decision is upheld, the government will have to negotiate with the Métis on benefits similar to First Nations and the Inuit. Métis and the non-status groups say the provinces and Ottawa have continued to point to the other for responsibilities affecting education, health, and social services. If this decision stands, the federal government will have responsibility for hundreds of thousands more Indigenous people not affiliated with reserves.
Floodwaters in Sherbrooke, Quebec have receded to about 6 meters, allowing most of the 600 residents who were forced out of their homes yesterday to return. About 400 people were able to return last night, while the remaining 230 people are expected to return by this evening. Authorities say they will now begin the cleanup operation, repairing roads and bridges that were shut down by overflowing rivers. The spring thaw and heavy rainfall triggered floods earlier this week in Quebec and eastern Ontario.
The captain of the South Korean ferry that capsized off the country's southwest coast is now the subject of a criminal investigation. Unconfirmed reports suggest the captain was one of the first people to jump ship when the vessel began to sink. Media reports say 69-year-old Lee Jun-suk could face charges of negligence causing death. The ferry, carrying 475 passengers, mostly high school students, capsized yesterday and sank rapidly after sending out a distress call. Roughly 180 people were rescued by search teams. However, the South Korean government says 9 people are confirmed dead and about 290 people are still missing.
And news is just coming in now. Dutch media is reporting a man has been arrested in connection with the online extortion of BC teen Amanda Todd. The 15-year-old killed herself 2 years ago after being bullied. A 35-year-old man was taken into custody in January and is suspected of extortion via a webcam film. The man reportedly made his first court appearance Wednesday.
And now with your sports news, here's Mark McKelvey. Mark, it was the first round of NHL playoffs last night, and it didn't disappoint, did it?
No, it really didn't, and it lived up to the hype on night one. All the 3 games last night were decided by only 1 goal. So we'll take a quick look back, and we'll start in Tampa Bay. Montreal and Tampa went back and forth through the first 3 periods and went to overtime tied 3-3. Late in the extra frame, Danny Briere sets up Dale Weiss for the one-timer to put the Habs up 1-0 in the series. In Pittsburgh, the Penguins hosted the underdog Columbus Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets proved they aren't going down without a fight. Beautiful goal here after Dubinsky sets up Jack Johnson. Tied 3-3, Pens forward Brandon Sutter comes down the right wing and snaps home the game winner. And finally, in Anaheim, the Ducks jumped out to an early 4-0 lead on Dallas. The Stars, they fought back and got to within a goal. In the third on this Tyler Seguin redirection. Late in the game, Ducks forward Ryan Getzlaf takes a Seguin one-timer off the face. He went off quickly, but reports say he will be okay. His team holds on for the 1-0 series lead. 4 more series will start tonight. Philadelphia visits the New York Rangers. Chicago is in St. Louis. Minnesota faces the Young Guns in Colorado. And LA meets up with the San Jose Sharks. The Toronto Raptors wrapped up regular season play last night, falling 95-92 to the New York Knicks. Fourth place Chicago also lost, meaning the Raptors finished third in the East and meet the 6th seed. In their final game, the Brooklyn Nets sat all their starters and lost to Charlotte. Some experts suggest the Nets did this to finish 6th because they want to play the Raptors. That's some bulletin board material for Toronto. Game 1 is Saturday at the ACC. Tip-off is 12:30. And the Raps have released their promo video for the playoff. Here's a sample.
Far from the east side, miles from the west side, nowhere near the south side. We are the north side.
If that doesn't get you fired up, nothing will. Now the Toronto Blue Jays are back in action today facing the Minnesota Twins. They're on the diamond this afternoon after yesterday's game was canceled due to cold weather. As I mentioned, Game 1 is currently underway at Target Field, and the Twins lead 5-0 in the 6th. R.A. Dickey had a rough outing, allowing 5 runs on 7 hits in 4 1/3 innings of work. Todd Redmond has replaced him. Now turning back to the ice, the OHL is down to its final 4. And the Western Conference Finals, they start tonight. Young phenom Connor McDavid, the projected first overall pick in the 2015 NHL Draft, leads the Erie Otters against the Guelph Storm. The high-powered offense of Guelph features Robbie Fabry, a projected first-round pick in this June's draft. Connor Brown and Matt Finn are Maple Leaf prospects fans should keep an eye on. Brown led the Otters and the OHL in scoring, while Finn anchors the Storm blue line. Puck drop for Game 1 is at 7. And CrossFit may be more dangerous than some might think. The competitive and fast-paced workout is seeing a trend in injuries. Our Andrea Fernandez has more with this story.
It seems to be the newest workout trend. Heavy weightlifting, short but intense cardio intervals. The overly competitive exercise known as CrossFit may be doing more harm than good. Personal trainer Nelson Bellarino says those participating in the sport are more likely to suffer from injuries.
A lot of joint movement at high loads, high velocities. You're really prone to injury that way, just the way your mechanics are. You're not really designed to take that kind of impact.
Although CrossFit does have its downside, many adherents say that if done properly, the exercise can be safe and beneficial. Jordan Focomo says he dislikes the idea of CrossFit and just doesn't understand the trend.
You're going to damage yourself. Like, I know when I do it, I get shin splints sometimes, or I'll get, when I broke my wrist, I'll hurt my wrist every now and then. But doing that every day, it just wears and tears on the body. It's not good for it.
CrossFit workouts include high-intensity cardio, weightlifting, and gymnastic routines that change regularly. While CrossFit may be the latest workout trend, many are saying that if done incorrectly, it can lead to injuries, especially for rookies. Andrea Fernandez, Humber News.
Thanks, Andrea. After the break, we'll get the latest in entertainment from Therese Yastrzewski.
Mrs. Doubtfire makes a comeback and Drake is accused of stealing music. All this and more coming up after the break.